अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. हरि ओम. ओम नमो भगवते श्री रामकृष्णाय. Readings and reflections from the Holy Mother Sri Sarada Devi, book written by Swami Vimokshananda. Lakshmi Devi once drew before a monk a picture in these words of how the ever-joyful master taught the mother. The master always alluded to the unreality of the world and its troubles and tribulations, and told the mother, detachment and devotion are the only things that matter. He said, what would one gain by bearing children like bitches and vixens? The Holy Mother's mother had many children, some of whom had died. The mother had brought them up in her lap and had witnessed her parents lamenting the death of some of them. She too had had her share of the sorrow. The master drew attention to all these and said, you too have had much first-hand experience, and you must have realized how painful it all is. Why all this fuss? Without all that, you are your own mistress and will ever remain so. The mother was ever busy at work. One morning, she was bedaubing the ground inside with a paste of mud and cow dung, a practice common in villages where they do not have cemented floors and courtyards. Every morning, the housewives mix earth and cow dung in water and then overlay the ground with the paste with the help of a handful of rags. The master was cutting jokes while brushing his teeth with a twig. To the mother he said, you may dance and sing, bedecking yourself with ornaments at the first rice-eating ceremony of your son. But you will writhe in agony when the son dies. The mother had been listening to the talk in silence. But when the master went on alluding repeatedly to the death of sons, she at last blurted out in a low tone, will all of them really die? Hardly had the words escaped her mouth when the master said loudly, ah me, here indeed I have trampled on the tail of a deadly snake. A venomous snake reacts furiously when trampled on, whereas a non-venomous one tries rather to escape. Ah me, here indeed I have trampled on the tail of a deadly snake. Dear me, I thought she was good-natured and innocent of everything, but she seems to know a lot. How, she says, will all of them really die? The mother left the place in a hurry. Being free from the constrained manners and artificial courtesies of urban society, the master felt a spontaneous ease at Kamarpukur and moved freely with people. One day, the mother wanted to go with another lady of the house to an open-air religious drama, which is called Jatra, which was being staged in a neighboring village. The master did not like the idea, but then realizing that they were feeling disappointed, he enacted the whole drama before them without anybody else's help. He had seen it only once, but so sharp was his memory, so realistic his histrionics, and so sweet his music that the ladies soon got over their sorrow and sat spellbound for a long time as though they were witnessing the real performance. About the master's disposition at Kamarpukur, the Holy Mother said, I never saw him morose. He rejoiced in everybody's company, be he a boy or an old man. Certainly, my dear, I never found him gloomy. Ah, at Kamarpukur, he would say after leaving his bed every day, I shall have this green today for my meal. Please cook that. Overhearing him, we, that is, Holy Mother and Lakshmi Devi's mother, would get together some greens and cook them. Sometime later he said, bah, what has happened to me? From early morning I think of eating only 5 of this. And to me he said, I have no more desire for any particular dish. I shall eat whatever you cook and whatever you offer. He used to go to the country for recouping his health, for he suffered very much from digestive troubles at Dakshineswar, and said, Pooh, the stomach is a store of filth which keeps on flowing out. All this made the body repugnant to him, and he took no further care of it. The master was very fond of cutting jokes. One of his jokes is particularly enjoyable. Lakshmi's mother and I, said the mother, cooked at Kamarpukur. One day, the master and Hridaya sat for meal. Lakshmi's mother was a good cook. Tasting the dish that she had prepared, the master said, Oh Hridaya, it is the Vaidya Ramdas who has cooked this. And tasting the dish that I had cooked, he said, and this has been cooked by Srinath's son. Lakshmi's mother was Ramdas Vaidya and I Srinath's son, a quack. At this Hridaya added, that is true, but your cat will be ever ready even for massaging. She has only to be sent for. As for Ramdas Vaidya, his fees are high. You cannot have him at all times. Moreover, people call in the quack first. He is ever at your service. The master said, it's true, it's true. She is ever there. I would have continued to complete this chapter, but I am stopping here for one important reason. Tomorrow is the Shodashi Puja Tithi, or you can say Falaharni Kali Puja. So on Falaharni Kali Puja, there was a great happening in mother's life, which Swami Vimokshananda calls the great awakening about her motherhood, and how master had done that wonderful puja to her. That description I would like to read today. I am just going one chapter again ahead and see that portion. This is in page 48 of this book. After the master had been assured of Sarada Devi's purity by living with her for a month and a half, he proceeded to offer her his heart's adoration. The new moon night of 5th June 1872 was the auspicious time for the worship of Kali in her aspect as Falaharini, destroyer of the effects of past deeds. In Sri Ramakrishna's mind grew the desire of worshipping that night the mother of the universe as Shodashi. So what is Shodashi? There is a note. The Leela Prasanga, Sadhak Bhava, page 353 to 54, fixes the date for this ceremony as the 25th May 1873, or more than a year after the mother's arrival at Dakshineswar. The mother herself put this as 1 month and a half. And in Sri Ramakrishna Deva, a biography of the master by his direct disciple, Sasibhushan Ghosh, we read that the worship was performed within 3 months of Sri Sarada Devi's reaching Dakshineswar. The mother also says that she returned to Jairambati 1 year after the worship, Sri Mayar Katha. So taking all this into consideration, Swami Vimokshananda has given the night of 5th June 1872, not 1873. Shodashi is the mother of the universe in the form of a most beautiful woman in the prime of her youth, exquisitely attired and seated on a throne. She is otherwise known as Tripura Sundari or Sri Vidya. In this instance, the master accepted the Holy Mother as a symbol for the deity to start with, and ultimately established her identity with the deity. This worship of the mother in human form is sanctioned by the scriptures, though the usual symbols are pictures, earthen images, yantras, ritualistic drawings, etc. The worship was not to be performed in public, but secretly in the master's room according to his own wishes. The master usually relied on Hridaya for such odd jobs. But that night, Hriday had to perform the special worship at the Kali temple, and he left for the temple after doing what little he could. Then Dinu, he belonged to Mukundapur and was the son of a cousin of the master. Then Dinu, the other priest, came to the master's help after finishing his daily task at the Vishnu temple. All the accessories of the worship were now duly arranged, and there was in front of the master an artistically decorated low wooden seat for the deity, though no image had been brought. At last, when everything was in order, priest Dinu left the place at 9 o'clock. The master had asked the mother to be present at the worship. Now she entered the room and looked on intently as the worship proceeded. The master sat near the western doorway facing eastward. With the chanting of appropriate mantras, he sanctified the accessories of the worship, and after finishing the preliminaries, he beckoned the mother to the decorated seat. The mother had become semi-conscious through spiritual fervor as she had been watching the worship, and now, not knowing what or why she was doing, she moved forward as though under a charm and sat on the allotted low stool facing the master. The master took some sanctified water from the pitcher and sprinkled it on her body. Then, after uttering the mantras appropriate to the occasion, he prayed to her, O thou eternal Virgin, thou Mother Tripura Sundari, the source of all power, do thou open the gates of perfection. Sanctifying her mind and body, do thou manifest thyself through her, that is the Holy Mother, and ordain all good. Then he mentally identified the different limbs of the Holy Mother with the corresponding parts of the deity with appropriate sacred formulae, that is mantras, and considering her as none other than the deity herself, worshipped her duly with the usual 16 kinds of offering. At last, the votary took up some sweets in hand and put them in the mouth of the deity. By and by, the mother lost all outer consciousness, and the worshipper too, as he proceeded with his ceremonies, gradually lost himself in beatitude. On that level of ecstasy, the deity and the devotee became identified. In this way, hours passed, and when midnight was long over, there were signs of the master's recovery from his absorption. As soon as he regained sufficient consciousness, he offered himself to the deity, and then laying himself the fruits of all his disciplines and his rosary at the feet of the goddess, he uttered the salutation, O thou, the most auspicious goodness among all auspicious things, Sarva Mangala Mangalye, the fulfiller of all aims, the refuge of all, thou the three-eyed, golden-hued consort of Shiva, thou the power of Narayana, I salute thee. The worship was over, and this adoration in a human figure of the Divine Mother, who is the source of all enlightenment, ended the long course of austerity that the Master had undertaken. And for the Holy Mother too was opened the door leading to the highest achievement that humanity conjoined with divinity can attain. After the worship, she returned to the normal plane and saluting the Master, left for the Naval. The mother had then completed the 18th year of her age and entered the 19th. Though by mistake, she often said, I had then commenced my 16th year. We now put in brief the other details of this incident that the curious women devotees gathered from the mother. When the mother said that at the commencement of the ceremony, the Master painted her feet with liquid lac dye, put vermilion on her forehead, clad her with a new piece of cloth, and put betel and sweets into her mouth, Lakshmi Devi asked with an amused smile, You are so shy, my dear. How did he put clothes on you? The mother simply replied, I was not quite myself then. The mother sat facing the jar of Ganges water, which used to be kept at the northwest corner of the room, and to her right were the materials for the worship. A night-long festivity was going on outside, and nobody knew what was happening within the closed room, nor did noise from outside reach them. There were only two persons sitting facing each other, the master and the mother. Towards the end, Hridaya came in. After the adoration, the mother was faced with a problem. What was she to do with the conch, bangles, cloth, etc., which she had received as offerings? She referred the matter to the master, who, after a little reflection, said, "Well, you can give them to your mother, but mind you, when making them over, do not think of her as a mortal, but rather as a universal mother." The Holy Mother did accordingly. In a state of divine afflatus, the mother accepted the worship as also the result of all the spiritual disciplines of the master. In fact, she inherited the richest spiritual wealth without any corresponding conscious endeavor on her part. And in addition, she learned how to look upon all beings as manifestations of the universal mother. The master too felt himself quite at ease after discharging the highest duty to his partner in life. So welcome to this class today. It's a very beautiful way that Swami Vimokshananda has taken this passage from the Sri Ramakrishna, the great master, written by Swami Sardananda. Sardananda describes the entire event, and he thinks and he tells the readers that this was the beginning of the universal motherhood in Holy Mother. We have seen even as a child, Holy Mother has displayed some of the traits of being a mother, and from that day onwards, that is, which we are going to have tomorrow, the same Shodashi Puja day, that is Falaharani Kali Puja day. Falaharani Kali Puja is one of the important tantric mode of worship for Mother Kali. So when people generally think, when they go for Falaharani Kali Puja, they take a lot of fruits. The word itself means Fala Aharini. So Falaharini, Fala Aharini. So one who eats a lot of fruits. So Mother Kali is thought of eating a lot of fruits, and she brings a lot of fruits. Today also we have got a lot of fruits. But what is the inner meaning of this Fala Aharini? She is the deity who takes away all the fruits of our labor, of our karma. So we as devotees have got a lot of karma phalas. Because when you do karma, the reaction of the karma gets accumulated somewhere till it comes in our life as fruits of action. So the fruit of action sometimes come immediately, sometimes it may come after a few years, sometimes it may come in the next birth or next to next birth. You don't know when the fruit of karma will come to us. So at the proper congenial time, the fruit of karma, that is karma phala, will come out. But then some karmas, we do very good karmas. So for us, very good results are also waiting in the future. But sometimes, knowingly or unknowingly, intentionally or non-intentionally, we might have done some bad karmas in the past. So the past karmas phalas, that is results, also may come in the future. So what is our attitude towards our Ishta Devata if Mother Kali is to be worshipped and offer to her at her feet all the results of our karmas? So that is called offering, that is called surrender. So when you surrender to Mother, so you say the good karmic effects and the bad karmic effects, both I offer at your holy feet. Like that you start daily offering. So by offering the effects of karma, you train your mind to become detached from all the effects of karma. So the effects of karma are not stopping to come to you. They will come. So when they come and attack me, I shall not be perturbed. I will keep up my equanimity because the result is not mine. The result I have already offered to her. So why should I worry? Only the body will suffer, let it suffer. It doesn't matter. So mentally, I am fully aware that this result is not mine. I am not going to be the enjoyer, not the bhokta. Because I have cut off the karta attitude of the karma. So there is no the bhokta attitude. Now I am the enjoyer. That is not there. So on this tomorrow night, it's a wonderful night because it is Amavasya, as well as that we all worship, we think of Mother Kali on Amavasya night. And Holy Mother is herself worshipped on that day. That is the beauty in our system of belief, that we find our own dear Holy Mother is worshipped as Mother Falaharini Kali. So who did the worship? Not ordinary, Ram, Sham, Madhu, but Tom, Dick and Harry, like that we say in English. So in Hindi we say Ram, Sham, Madhu. So not anybody like that. Sri Ramakrishna himself did that. And he was the husband. And a husband making his wife seated in front of him on the raised stool and worshipping is the very first example in the religious hagiography. That is what people say. All the great scholars say this has never been happened in the past history of any great man. Though they have lived as not as husband and wife, but as brother and sister in some of the great men we find. But worshipping her, raising her to the Divine Mother level is the first time that we see. And this puja, the way that Swami Sadhananji has explained, what he does, and he made arrangement in his room itself, because this puja cannot be done for public. Because public on that day were going to the Mother Kali temple, because there is a big Kali temple, Bhavatarini's temple is there. All the people are going to witness the Falaharini Kali puja. Whole night it goes on. Even in Belur Math we have whole night Mother Kali's puja. And in many places we do the puja. So the whole night puja is going on. People are not busy there, singing and dancing, and these things are going on. So people are busy there. And there are very good people who come only for puja. When the puja is happening, some people would like to sit and watch the puja and absorb the puja items, how the puja is being done, absorb within themselves. So for puja itself, some people go to the temples. So everybody is there. So in Ramakrishna's room, none was there. So he quietly told at the evening hours, Mother did not know that. Only in the evening, Sri Ramakrishna came to Mother and told, hey, you come to my room at 9 o'clock or so, after the night. So she knows that Master is going to do some puja. That's all. But she doesn't know what was the puja and for whom it is meant. So she came and sat there. Well, she was not seated on the straight away on the stool. She was sitting separately and looking at the puja. But when Master does the puja, it is something, a matter to be adored, to be looked at. When he does the puja, he becomes one with the deity with whom he is worshipping. So what happens was, when he started doing the puja preparations, they are called preparations, Shuddhi Karan, it's called. You have to make purified the utensils, you have to make purified the things that are going to be offered, and you have to purify so many other things. So you have to start from your own purifications, your body and mind, and then your seat and your four sides of the corners. All these things, lot of purification ceremonies are in the puja method, you will see that. So all these things he was doing, and puja has not yet started. And while watching his performance of the purificatory ceremonies, Mother lost almost half of her consciousness. She became only slightly aware of the outside world. She was not knowing anything else. And suddenly she heard Master's command, come. He used to call her Saru. So Saru, get up and sit on the stool here. And like a snake that acts according to the snake charmer command. I said she simply quietly went and sat on that stool. And the stool was raised. She was not aware even that she is sitting there. She went and sat. But before she came to this stool, when she entered the room, Master did certain things to her. He put new kumkum on her forehead, and then he gave her a new sari, and he tied the sari around her body, and then he gave her flowers, and then made her sit there. Now, you can see what a wonderful way that Master did the puja to her. And when he completed the tantric worship of the mother, that is invoking Tripura Sundari, that is what he says. This is a great, a wonderful philosophical thought, in Sri Ramakrishna's life. Sri Ramakrishna belonged to a Bengal school of tantrics. There are two types of schools are there in tantric methods. The tantric sampradaya, that is the tradition. One is the black tantric tradition and white tantric tradition. The white tantric tradition generally is believed to be followed in southern India, and this black tantric worship is traditionally believed to be followed in the eastern part of India. So we find that's why Kali is black. But if you see Tripura Sundari, she is bright, like a full moon, and Kali is like the new moon. So the two differences are there in imagining the two times. But Sri Ramakrishna was wholly engrossed in the worship of Mother in the black tradition. And suddenly on that day, he invoked the white traditional deity, which is called Tripura Sundari. It is a great mystery for me. Why did Ramakrishna chose the other side? Because the tradition that he has been following, he could have followed it. But instead of that, why did he do in calling Tripura Sundari, invoking Tripura Sundari in Sarada Devi? Not Mother Kali as such. It's a great discussion. I did not get an answer for a long time. Only about 2 years before, not 2 years, about, I think when I went to South Africa, that is 2007, I came across an article written by one of the Matajis of Sardamat. And there was a special edition on Holy Mother, a book. In that one article is there. I just now forget the author's name. One Mataji has written. She has raised this question and answered us so convincingly to us. So when Prabhupada Prana Mataji is going to come, I am going to raise this subject with her and would like to know from her. And I want to reread that article. So beautifully she has justified why Master worshipped her as Tripura Sundari instead of Kali aspect. And this he did it. And then this Swami Gambhirananji as well as Swami Saradananji in this one, they have brought out one particular conclusion from this worship. What is the conclusion? Says, the worship was over, and this adoration in a human figure of the Divine Mother, who is the source of all enlightenment, ended the long course of austerity that the Master had undertaken. So this gives two impressions, two types of conclusions that Swami Gambhirananji draws. The first conclusion is, he says, the long course of austerity of the Master had finished. Because what more austerities he could do? For doing austerity also, he required certain items which everything he has handed over to Holy Mother's feet. He has handed over all his karmic effects, that is phala, karma phala, because that's why it's called Phalaharini Kali. Tomorrow night is a Phalaharini Kali. So that's why I'm taking that particular aspect. So that he has already offered. He has got nothing of himself to do. And even the Japamala that he was using, he has offered at her feet. So all his austerities long drawn austerities are over. After that, master need not do any austerity. He was a free bird like that. He remained. You see that in life also. And second conclusion he draws is, and for the Holy Mother, it was the opening. What was opening? Opening of the door leading to the highest achievement that humanity conjoined with divinity can attain. So in the initial first chapter itself, Swami Vimokshananda explained, I am going to tell you the story of some unique person who was human fully, but along with the humanity, the human qualities, how she was divine. That is what I am going to explain. Either he starts the book. So now he says, the highest achievement that humanity conjoined with divinity can attain. So she became in a new level, new higher level, where she started considering herself as a universal mother. Some glimpses we have seen earlier in her life as a young girl. But after this, and Sri Ramakrishna tested the purity. Nearly 6 months she lived with him in the same room and she slept in the same room. So he tested her purity, and after that only he became convinced that I must do this puja. Because such innocence and such wonderful purity mother had. So Sri Ramakrishna felt Holy Mother is the best recipient of this puja, of this worship. And he did that. And it is said that he awakened the motherhood in Holy Mother. So we previously, Gambhirananji gives one wonderful incident in mother's life, that when he took mother to Kamarpukur, and in Kamarpukur they had a very good life, very easy life, because Kamarpukur master enjoyed the surroundings of Kamarpukur, because that was his own birthplace, and he took a lot of interest in training mother, and he started teaching mother the utter impermanence of the world. Thank you. So he started telling mother that what is the use of getting children? No use of getting children. See, you yourself have seen, your mother got so many children, many of them died, you have seen. So the first time, when the Annaprashan time, you nicely dress yourself and give the child as some food. On that day, you are so happy. But when the child dies, what will happen? So you become very sad. So why you should have a child? No, something like that he was on telling once. And one day morning, he got up. And mother never replied to him anything. And then he was just washing his teeth, He was brushing his teeth with the twig. And that time he started telling, you may dance and sing, bedecking yourself with the ornaments at the first rice eating ceremony. It's called Annaprashan ceremony. So in many places, the Annaprashan ceremony, the parents bring the child to our ashrams. So we sit with them and we give the payasam offer to Thakur, and then we give that one small one, only by your finger you take it and give to the child. So the child gets, from the mother it takes first and then from us. So like that we do that. So we pray for the child's welfare. And she says, but you will writhe in agony when the son dies. But this was unnecessary, When he's telling a good thing to mother, and suddenly he started telling this. And mother, in a low tone, she simply whispered so that he can hear. What she made the comment, she's just blurted out in a low tone. Will all of them really die? Okay, 5 children I have, 4 children die. One child may stay. So will all of them die? You are telling as if all the children are going to die. That was a terrible thing, Sri Ramakrishna, it was making fun. And he heard it and he exclaimed, ah, me, I have trampled on the tail of a deadly snake. He says, it's very interesting. It's a Bengali, this way of telling is very beautiful. And he says, I thought she was good-natured and innocent, but she seemed to know a lot. How she says, will all of them really die? So that was a great awakening for Master also, that how mother has grown up in it. And Master used to have a lot of fun in in Kamarpukur, and he was very fond of cutting jokes, he says. One of the jokes he says, two persons are talked about in the villages. One is Vaidya Ramdas, that means Dr. Ramdas. You know, we call in India, we call Vaidya. Vaidya means a doctor, a man who heals people. So, in our Ayurvedic doctors are called Vaidyas, you know. So, Vaidya Ramdas. Vaidya Ramdas is a very good doctor. You go to him, he will see your pulse and he will see all the methods of test, and then he will prescribe you proper medicine. So, and he is very costly also. You have to pay him a lot of money. So, that Vaidya Ramdas. But there are quacks also practicing medicine in the villages. So, you don't need to pay a big sum for them. You just call a quack, next door neighbor perhaps, he is following some homeopathy or something. So, you call him and he will come and treat you. And he will take hardly any money, or something he will give free also. So, the quacks. But then, he is not a knowledgeable like Vaidya Ramdas. Because he is a quack, he has got half knowledge, you know, that's why we call him quack. So, that quack fellow is easily available. But if you want to go to Vaidya Ramdas, you must go and take an appointment and go like that. You know, they wanted to take me to a specialist, and then you have to take an appointment and then go there. So, you can't just go and dash in. But quacks are easily available. So, one day, Lakshmi's mother and Holy Mother, both of them cooked together. One item she cooked, another item she cooked. So, Master and Hridaya were eating, and God bless. So, Master was telling Hridaya, "Oh Hridaya, what Lakshmi's mother cooked was like Vaidya Ramdas. It is so grand, so wonderful. And what this lady cooked is like that quack of the village." So, he made him some fun. So, mother was hearing that. Mother is knowing now. So, I am compared with a quack, and Lakshmi's mother compared with the Ramdas. So, it's a great honor, you know. So, she is wondering, oh, okay. Like that it says. Then he says, then Lakshmi's mother was Ramdas Vaidya, and I am a quack. So, mother thought, oh, Master is making fun of me. At that time, Hridaya came to her help. What Hridaya said, that is true. But then, your quack is always ready to serve you. The moment you want to massage your feet, you can call her and she can come and massage your feet. And anytime you want anything, in the night also if you want to eat, she can cook and give you. But Ramdas Vaidya, you can't call him every time. So that's moreover, so when he said, people call in the quack first, he is ever at your service. And then Master said, smilingly, it's true, she is ever there. So it happened also later, when in one of the times in Kamarpukur, when he came, in the midnight, Master got up and awoke mother and said, I am too hungry, get me something. But nothing was there. So what to cook? So she took moody, and put it in water, and just quickly she made it as a food and then gave him. And he ate a lot. She was eating and eating and eating. So much he would never eat on the day, but he ate. So we see that at any time, at the beck and call we say, so mother was available. That is the joke that Master made. So with this, there are other portions are there, how this chapter comes to an end, that we will see in the next class. Om Kripang Kuru Mahadevi Suteshu Pranateshu Cha Charanasrayadanena Kripamayi Namostute Hari Om Tatsat Sri Rama Krishnarpanamastu.